Hello, everyone. So happy to have all of you here today with us. Well, today we're going to talk about how to boost your mobile game app competitiveness. And today with me, I have my dearest friend Kumura-san. And then let me start with a short introduction in the very beginning. So, my name is Mike. I'm product manager from Pushwoosh. We are the mobile-driven customer engagement platform. We help businesses to build their communication through such channels as push notifications, emails, and in-apps in one tool in order to increase the engagement rate, the revenue metrics, and so on. And Kumar-san, maybe you can introduce yourself.
Hi all, hope you are doing fine. This is Kumaresan, heading the mobile and digital marketing team in .com Infoway. .com Infoway provides IT solutions since 2000, right from app development to marketing. So in mobile as marketing, we work with game and app developers across the world to promote their app. So right from UA's consultation, user acquisition, improving user engagement, and ROI and so on.
Yeah, great. Thanks for joining us today. I know that we have a lot to discuss on this webinar, and I hope that it will be useful for our listeners. And first of all, about the current agenda. So we're going to talk about the current challenges for app marketers and the boom of the gaming app industry, about different steps of user life cycle for gaming apps, basically about user app acquisition, user engagement, and game monetization. And also we share some tips and tricks on how to increase your metrics, how to gain more revenue from your audience, and what type of creatives you can prepare to get user attention. So basically, Kumar-san, can you please share what is happening currently in the gaming app industry? I know that you're fond of the latest trends, so maybe you can highlight something.
Right. Sure. It's no secret that mobile game market is booming. For past 2 years, mobile games has been breaking records and generating revenue in billions. Also, people start spending more money on mobile games. For example, you can see that consumer spending has been raised to around 116 billion in 2021, which is around 15 to 16% higher than previous year. Also, when it comes to top countries where revenue is more, so China, US, and Japan stands high, where it generate more revenue via mobile gaming. So when it comes to install, it's China, US, and India. So mobile marketers or gamers or developers need to target these regions while preparing the plan for their gaming app. Also, you can see that around 67% of app revenue is generally comes from the gaming sector for both Google Play and App Store. Also, while analyzing categories, hyper casual games are ruling the top charts. People have started using the hyper casual games, especially after pandemic 2020. You can see that in around top five revenue generating games, games like Coin Master and Handy Crush is doing well in revenues. So along with that, puzzle game genre is also evolving further. Puzzle game genre has seen lot of changes in the market for past few years. For example, in games like Gardenscape and Homescape and so on, they have added more meta layers like decoration, role playing to their core gameplay. So it will attract the gamers, which depends on the different genres. So also with metaverse coming in, the game like Roblox are doing well in terms of revenue. Yeah, you can. Yeah. So let's get on the demographics. People started playing using smartphones as it is more convenient than the desktop or console. As per the latest stats, currently there are around 2.6 billion mobile gamers are there, and by 2023 it will be around 3.7 billion. Also, you can see that around 55% of mobile gamers are female. So the important thing is that we need to find the right target person that we need to target for your mobile games. So we can see that in detail in the upcoming slides.
Yeah, thanks a lot for sharing this. And I have also several things to add here. Not only the market is evolving, also gaming app market is highly affected by the latest changes from Apple. I mean the IDFA thing, which now requires to ask permission to track user actions across different apps in order to show them the advertisements. Also, one important thing which is happening right now is the astronomical rise of hyper casual games, and this really affects the way how gamers play. And again, there are a lot of different companies entering gaming, so many apps are going to be published on different stores. So it's really important to find your own place uh, in this area. So what we're going to talk next is basically these three steps of user lifecycle. We'll start with acquisition, or how to acquire user. Then we will continue with engagement, or basically how to engage user, how to retain it, and how to enhance user experience in your game. And lastly, we will talk about the monetization part, or how to gain revenue from the users that you were able to attract and engage. So the first part is user acquisition. And I know that Kunmur-san, you have a lot of to share about it.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Mike. Especially after Apple's change in the use of IDFA, targeted marketing becomes more tougher, and developers need to try more variations in the user campaigns. So they need to consider both organic and paid channels as they are correlated to each other. So as you can see that an app will get an average of 1.5 organic install for every paid installs. Also, you need to try experiment with multiple ad networks. Though Facebook and Google are the top ad networks now, so there are different ad networks for the gaming genre, which we can able to see in the upcoming slides. Also, the average CPI for mobile gaming app, for especially for gaming app for casual gaming, is around $1.15 to $2. However, the CPI has started increasing in recent days after the IDFA changes. You can next slide.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Sure.
you can move next slide. Yeah, sure. Thank you. So before we are going to the next slides, so we need to find the target market and user persona that we are going to target. Because generally players will have some key motivations and reasons to play the game, and that may be one of the reasons that we have listed here, like escapism, social connection, and so on. So we need to find the right motivations. We need to prepare the game, what they are looking for. The ultimate aim is to target the right user, because there are millions of apps available in the stores. Millions of genres are there. For example, there are casual games like word games, puzzle games, and so on. And on the other hand, there are mid-core games available, like strategy games, role-playing games, and so on. So we need to find the users who will play your game and who will pay you the money. Right. So let us see the example of the user persona report that we have created for the casual users. So we have analyzed more data online, and we can able to research something online, and we can able to come up with these data. So the more data we are gathering is more useful for us while targeting in the ad campaigns. So, for example, for casual gamers, you can see that the demographic is around 55%. The group that we need to target is around, like, millennials are the more people that we need to target. The consoles that they are using for playing the game, so generally is a smartphone, which is around 93%. And they will, the genre that I like to play, generally they will play multiplayer game, as I mentioned, the social connection motivation. Also their online purchase behavior. So generally they will pay actually if they have received any coupons or discounts. Also, this type of people will generally, we can able to find them in these regions. Also, this is how they interact with the ads. So generally, they will see the ads on search engines, social media ads, TV ads, and so on. So if we are going to target these people, so we need to rely on one of these ad networks, and we need to rely on one of these methods. So, the ultimate aim in App Store optimization or ad campaigns is to get your app featured, because the app that get featured will get the prominent result in terms of visibility. Generally, store visitors will land on today page, where they can able to see the opportunity to play millions of games that has been handpicked by the Apple editors. So as you can see that around 34% of people on iOS and 25% of people on Android browse for most popular or top-rated apps before downloading any app. So reaching top chart is most important. So also we can reach the top charts by running the burst campaigns. The apps in top charts, they will frequently run the burst campaigns to retain their spot. So burst campaigns are nothing but acquiring the more number of install volume in quick span of time. There are more factors that affects the reaching the top charts. However, like getting the more volume in a quicker span of time is one of the important factor to reach these top charts. So next is the ASO. So when it comes to ASO optimization, so you need to check each items with high priority. So before proceeding, you need to know the difference between the App Store and Google Play, how algorithm works here and how algorithm works there. So your game name or title should clearly explain what your app does and what's behind it. Also, we need to have the optimized keyword in title and so on. Your keyword should be both competitive. It should have a high search volume. It should be relevant, and we can able to find more keywords with help of tools available. Also, you need to make sure that you need to choose the right category as it will directly impacts your user acquisition and monetization. So you need to have the optimized description. This should explains your compelling features along with the right set of keywords, especially in Google Play. So when it comes to visual assets, the user's first impression will be your icon or screenshots. So it should be screen grabbing. It should tell the users what the app look like before downloading it, so that we can able to avoid unwanted churn rate. Also, we can optimize the in-app purchases with items like title, description, icons, and so on. So the next important thing is the localization culturalization, because going international is one of the main avenue for the game developers to earn success. To appealing the game to non-English speaking users by providing them with English version is one of the lucrative method in mobile marketing. Still around like only 15% of US apps has been localized, so there is a huge opportunity there. And culturalization brings localization to next level. With culturalization, people can able to relate to your content and engage them in a meaningful way. For example, here I have listed two examples here, which is the Coin Master app. We can compare their English version along with the Japanese version. So in the Japanese version, they have localized their brand name in Japan. So also they have listed the cultural elements in the screenshots. You can see in the English version, so that Japanese users can able to relate to the content well if it's localized. Also, you need to often A/B test the elements like icons, screenshots with help of Google Play and App Store. Also, you need to prompt users to post review at appropriate stages. You need to keep reply to them for their feedback, negative reviews, and so on. Also, you need to keep track on the conversion rate, that is impression to installs on both Google Play and iTunes Connect. You need to compare them with the industry peer group, and so that you can able to know where you are, and you need to update your App Store elements accordingly. So as I can say that recently Apple has introduced new features in-app event and PPO. Previously for experimentation in App Store, we need to rely on the third-party tools. Now they have officially announced that we can able to test three elements there, like icons, screenshots, and so on. We can make use of it. Also, we can automate the in-app event where the in-app event that is happening inside our app will be get listed on the search tab whenever users are searching for the app. So this gives us more visibility in the stores than earlier. So, as I mentioned earlier, after Apple's changes in IDFA, target marketing is becoming more tougher. So, we need to experiment with more channels, and choosing the right ad network is essential for maximizing your user acquisition effort. So, here the two screens, two images shows the Sarah voice of mobile games in ad network for US region. So, as you can see that the network like Chart Boost, Utility, Ad Colony, and source, and so on are running more gaming related apps down non-game related apps. So these networks are first priority when it comes to gaming, and then the social networks like Instagram, Facebook, and so on. However, you need to experiment with all channels. You need to run the pilot campaigns and you need to check where you are receiving the high quality from. Also, you can make use of the user persona report, which we have discussed earlier in the targeting session. You need to target the people and user persona based on that. Here I have displayed the example of the Facebook detailed targeting section, where we have targeted people based on their interest. Also, you can able to target them based on their behavior too. So when it comes to creatives, video is the king actually. So you can see that the videos are one of the top performing creatives across all ad networks in the US region. Also, playable ads are becoming high actually. So whatever your ads is, it should be narrative. It should explain what your gameplay is. Also, it should focus the motivation that why users need to play your game. I should trigger their motivations and so on. So next slide, we can do following examples. So the first video, the first video shows the Cricket League social connection app, which motivate among the users of this PvP game.
Yeah, I'm afraid I won't be able to play this video right now, but it will be available in the presentation that we'll share later.
Okay. You can see that maybe we can share the link of it so that users can able to see that. So nothing but like I have shared two videos. The first video represents the Cricket League app, which triggers the social connection motivation among users with its PvP game. So the next one is the Call of Antia game, which clearly narrates the meta layers that it has added to its Match 3 core game. So users can able to see once we have shared the presentation. Right. So we need to choose the ad network where our audience are more. As we discussed earlier, Brazil game is on the rise. So you can see that among all networks, Brazil games are top. So also like we can in platform like Instagram and TikTok, hyper casual games are more because of the user genre available there. So we need to integrate the MMP tool right from the start of the campaigns. You need to estimate the quality. We need to find the right genre of users which we are going to target. Also, we need to target users right from day one. So apart from that, apart from installs, we can also start running the in-app event-based campaigns where we can able to target and optimize signups, user flow in the levels, and so on. So generally, the CPA for in-app campaigns would be around 5x or 10x greater than CPA. However, as a developer or a marketer, you need to start running those campaigns along with your CPI. So let us see the quick success case here. This is like a success story of how we have occurred 1 million installs at the rate of zero point 0.01 cents in Indian region, which is around INR 1 rupees in India. So it's about the casual game, hyper casual game. It's a cake slicing game. So before aggressive so because we run the campaign aggressively, we have done the pilot campaigns in different ad networks so that we can able to gather more data. So based on our pilot campaign, we have seen that we have received the optimal result Facebook and Google AdMob. So initially we have received installs at the rate of 0.30 cents initially. However, we have optimized the data, like we have removed the unwanted impressions, like unwanted genre. Also, I will come to ads. We have make sure that our ads doesn't reach more in frequency in order to avoid the ad fatigue. So generally, video ads and carousel ads worked well for these kind of games. Also, we have localized ads to top 5 languages in India. So this gives us a better result, which we have able to occur around 1 million installs in just 2 months period of time, the rate of 0.01 cents. So the key takeaway here is whenever you are going to run the campaign in aggressively, so I need to run the pilot campaigns. You need to check which segments working for you. You need to check which analytics working for you. This can be done with the help of more tools available. So once you have done that, make sure we can able to achieve the CPI at the lesser rate, also with higher quality. So next one is the influencer marketing. So collaborating with influencers is one of the incredible way of marketing in mobile games. So before choosing the influencers, you need to make sure that you are reaching the right influencers. Also, you need to you need to track the influencers activity, like how they are engaging with the followers, and you can also check the type of their followers, which category they belong to. Also, you need to mix it up with all type of influencers like nano, micro, macro, and so on, because each influencer type has their own pros and cons and has their own engagement rate. Also, you need to have the defined goal before proceeding with them. So you need to know for which one you are running the campaign for. It may be for installs, or it may be for improving the in-app activities and so on. Also, you can do the payment in terms of in-app events. You don't need to just pay for video or Facebook post or story or so on. So you can define the event for particular KPIs, and you can do the payment for that. Also, you need to measure the result of each and every influencers, where you can do it with the help of tools, and you need to create the tracking tool for each influencers, and you need to analyze the data. You need to analyze data for the all influencers. Also, you can collaborate them with a different way, not just for the promotional post. You can have the exclusive giveaways. You can have the physical giveaway items and so on. So this will create some traction uh, in the industry while comparing to our competitors. So when it comes to platform, Twitch is one of the latest trend, where you can able to see more gaming sector there. So you can reach out to streamers in Twitch, YouTube, Facebook to promote or stream your game. Also, you can able to manage your community in Discord, Telegram, Reddit, and so on, where we can create a server in Discord, or the group in Telegram, or the subreddit in the Reddit. It helps you to engage with your users in the right way. So you can see the quick success case for the app, review app that we have worked on. So we have able to occur installs at just 1.0 cents at US region, because generally in US for hyper casual games it would be around 75 cents. But however, we have managed to bring it down with the help of influencer campaigns. So as it's a trivia game, so we have worked with more lifestyle influencers. With macro influencers, it will be around 10k followers to 100k followers. So we have choose the platform because we feel that hyper casual games are generally in the Instagram network. So we have choose Instagram. Also, the campaign objective is that influencers need to record the video of them playing the game, and they need to post it in Instagram stories or post by tagging their followers or friends to beat their score. And they need to post video altogether. So what gives is we have received the massive number of installs in quick span of time. It will also boost our organic rankings. We have got future in App Store and Google Play in the respective categories. As I mentioned, getting featured with these kind of activities will give you a prominent result uh, in addition to the ad campaigns.
Yeah, and small addition for user acquisition from my side. So Cameron already mentioned generating user reviews and ratings. So, well, this will be mostly the part of user engagement, but still, ratings and reviews is something that you can generate right from your app by working with the audience that you already acquire, and using such channels as push notifications and in-apps messages, basically, because it's not only about the purchases inside the app, but also about the communication. So just find the right time to ask your user gamer for a review, and you may be happy with the successful and positive reviews in the Play Market or App Store and so on. Yeah. So now moving to the next part, and yeah, this part about the reviews and ratings was a part of introduction into user engagement thing. So we were able to attract users through different channels that Kamura-san mentioned. But what to do next? So basically, user engagement is a really important part of your working with the app, because you were able to attract it even with a low CPI. But still, you need to get the ROI from these users. You need to show them ads. Maybe you need to make them pay for the in-app purchase and so on. How to do that? How to engage them? How to make them stay with you? So just like with the acquisition, you need to think about the story. So all of the recommendations for think about the user persona, think about their journey, the story you want to tell applies to the engagement as well. So you have several steps, big ones. For example, the first step is when the user installed the app. Then this particular user onboarded into your game. This user understood the mechanics that you have, get first reward, and so on. Uh, After that, this user continues playing for your game, and so on. Sometimes this user uninstall your app, leave it, stops playing, and so on. So how to find a way to re-engage these users? How to make sure that it will stay with you for as long as possible? So, in my opinion, it's a pretty important thing to do is to, well, understand your journey. So you need to ask yourself several questions and answer them carefully. So when are you planning game experience for your audience, for your users and gamers? What will be the triggers? So what will be the key actions your users gonna take to proceed further in your game? Should they pass just the first game session and it's totally okay for you, or should they stay for you for a month or 2 or 3 and keep playing? So they will be giving you more money based on ads use and so on. How will you understand that these users are engaging with you, and what signals will show you that they are leaving your game? Each of these trigger can be a specific event that will help you to understand what is happening and how you can elaborate these events into your communication strategy. Let me show you on several cases that I have here. So the first case will be about how to onboard. Basically, we were able to acquire a user. So this user installed our game, and this user started playing. This is the first session. This user does not know anything about us, how to play, what is the game. Maybe we were able to explain this in our ads and App Store page, but still, this is a completely new experience. So we can help this user to understand what is it all about, what will be the game, how can I proceed, how can I gain more experience, or how can I get more advantages with these games. And the in-app messages is a great channel to communicate with this user, particularly inside the app. So one important thing here, so basically there are two concepts of how you can communicate with the user: outside the app using push notifications, for example, or emails, and inside the app using in-app messages. In-app message is some kind of a banner that you show to your user, but not, for example, with an ad, but with a useful information or with suggestion to buy some more crystals, for example. And you can use it to explain your game experience, what will be happen next. And it could be like one welcome screen. It could be a set of screens during the first session when you will explain the basic game mechanics. And using platforms such as ours, you can experiment with the content for each screen, for each step, without having to re-upload your game. So just like from the control panel in the web, you can upload new versions of the screen and get better results by experimenting with the content of it. But it's really important not only to onboard user and explain some basic mechanics of your game. And also important to collect subscribers, because, well, without user prompt, you won't be able to connect with this particular user outside the app, and it will be really painful for you to attract these users once again. So think about explaining why you need user data, for example, to track IDFA and receive push notifications, and the story that you're going to tell, well, why you would like to have this information, how sharing this information will help your user. Because, well, of course, you can simply show system prompt, but in our experience, if you explain why you need it, you will be really able to increase your opt-in rates, both for IDFA and for push notifications. So we have like several recommendations here. And a really important one is to find the right timing, to be honest. So you can show this prompt right at the very beginning of the game experience for your player, but maybe you should do it a little bit later when this user already tried something to do in your game, and, well, basically you catch the interest for your game, and only after that ask this user for permission to track this information. And also, do not foil users' trust. So do not overwhelm this particular user with the communication. Do not send tons of push notifications and in-app messages, because otherwise you will just lose this user. This user will either opt out from receiving push notification or simply delete this your app, and that's not going to work for you. So, but okay, we were able to onboard this particular user and we'll be able to collect opt-in for DFA tracking and push notifications. How can we enhance user activity inside our game? So think about these communication channels, not only the way how to retrieve your user, but also think about them as a part of your game experience. So each message that you show to a user outside the app or inside the app can be a part of a game process. In some specific steps, you can just simply show in-app message prompting this particular user to buy some additional crystals, for example. When the level is reached or completed or not completed because of the defeat and something like that, show this small in-app and get more revenue. And using tools like Pushwoosh, you can able to show this in-app purchase events based on your own settings. You don't need to integrate them into your app. You can just show this in-app purchase banners inside your app by configuring them in a control panel with a simple instrument that I will show you later. Of course, you can show that in a banner, but also you can use push notifications for the very same reason, but with one really important advantage. You can reach your user outside the app. So, for example, you know that your user is playing the game early in the morning, maybe during their lunch or in the evening. So you can use push notifications to target these users in this particular timeline to catch their attention and motivate them to play into a game. So you need to find the right trigger. So you need to understand when my user opened the app, or maybe what is the behavior of this particular user or segment of users, and when should I connect with them to remind them that they have my fabulous game installed on their phone. This is a great way how you can increase engagement and retention. So sending this message on a regular basis, each day maybe, can prolong the lifetime of your users drastically. Some of our clients have like 30-day retention for 90%, and this is really huge numbers. Just based on the right schedule of these messages, they were able to achieve these results. So this is how you can implement it in Pushwoosh, for example. Of course, you can prepare the creative, you can find the right timing, but still it's really important with any kind of tool, and with ours as well, to test the content, to test the timing, to test the channels that you have, because just like in acquisition, you have like content marketing, Facebook ads, App Store, and so on. The same way in engagement, you have push notifications, in-apps, emails, and so on. And each channel has its own advantages and its own ways of how you can use it. So with this A/B testing, you can find the right timing, the right channels, and the right message, the creative, because working with the creatives for push notifications looks really the same as for the ads. Just the amount of symbols that you can use is really smaller. And Kumar-san, I know that you have some success case to share.
Right. So thanks, Mike. So as Mike clearly mentioned that for user engagement, you need to automate certain process. You need to automate the process with the help of tools like Pushwoosh. Yeah, you can able to trigger events for certain scenarios in app, analyze users' behavior based on that. So here I like to share the success case of one of the ideal RPG game where we have improved the user activity from 15% to around 45%. So the problem with the app is that the user traction is not happening within the app. Our client hasn't integrated any tool earlier. So what we have done is that we have used the tool and we have implemented the event the each data, because as more data you are analyzing, you can able to find the user behavior best. So we have implemented event at every trigger inside the app. And once we have done that, we have implemented the funnel analysis. So while analyzing, we have seen that there is a huge drop happening between from level 3 to level 4. People are getting churned there actually. So uninstall happen after level 3. So we need to find the reason for that. So what we have done is that we have tried to engage the users, like we have tried to engage with users who have failed at level 3. So we have done this with the help of in-app message, where we have sent the feedback form with the certain questions like why users are left in the game and what are the difficulties they are facing. So the interesting thing that we have received that users are uninstalling the game because they find that like level 3 is more difficulty. So what we have done is that we have devised that level 3 to appropriate difficulty and update the app again in the stores. So once we have done that, we can able to see the traction in the app, and we have able to see the percentage improving there. So the key takeaway here is that the user engagement setup is not the one-time process. We need to keep analyzing data as often as possible. We need to start engaging users at the right time with the help of tools. We need to trigger push notifications like notification that triggers them to open the app. So yeah, so in upcoming slide, we can able to see how we can activate users and how we can improve the retention and so on.
Yeah, absolutely. Right time, right channel, right creative.
Right.
So, and now, after this short introduction into the engagement, let's talk more about the user activation and retention. So, basically, user activation and retention is a part of the engagement thing. So, what is it all about? It's about informing users about new content, about the latest updates, about the new game mechanics that you introduced. So basically, this is how you are going to save your audience with you. This is how you're going to grow your app and grow your revenue as well. Activation and retention are really important because without working with communication, without working with game experience, you will just simply lose all of the gamers that you were able to attract. So, for example, if you were able to build the right communication strategy with a set of triggers that I will show you later, you will be able to achieve more than 80% retention rate on third day, with a CTR for your messages more than 20%, which is a really high CTR, to be honest. And also, you will get a drastic increase in revenue. I will show you the exact numbers for one of our clients that are currently working with Pushwoosh, but still, it really depends on your monetization strategy as well. So this is a small case from our client. They're currently using Pushwoosh as a tool to build their communication strategy about how they're working with their users that are not opening the app. So the main goal for them was to target those users who are going to churn. And at the churn predictor, they decided to use the attribute last application open date, meaning that they would like to target those users who did not open the app for 3 days in a row. So it's a pretty simple attribute, but still it was greatly working for them. So for each user in this specific segment, they were able to define in our platform. They prepared a specific content. And as you can see, well, in our case, this was a client with a lot of clients from different countries. So English is just only one language that they had in the app. So they were able to build multi-language campaign with A/B testing even that were really looking for user segments and well target audience that they have along with the user behavior. So a really important part of your communication strategy is to look not only the segments but also on user behavior. And in this particular case, the way how they measured the effectiveness of the communication was whether or not after receiving this push notification, these particular users opened the app. Were they able to retrieve them back? Were they able to re-engage them by sending some push notification promise? And in our case, you can not only track whether or not this particular user opened the app, but also how to react on it. For example, if the user opened the app, show this user in-app promo banner with some discount for purchasing, I don't know, crystals or energy in your app as a reward for returning back. So by using a set of these sequences of messages, they were able to increase their revenue up to 4 and 58%, and drastically increased their monthly active users, like up to 70%. So this is just great results, and it took us like just 2 or 3 months to implement along with them, with our customer success team. And I know that, and I think that Commerce team can achieve the same results using platforms such as ours, and even more, of course, because it's a way how to optimize, experiment, and iterate on the communication and like timings that you have in order to even increase these results even more. Yes, and I know that Commerce, you have some examples of
Yeah, right.
in-app. Mm-hmm.
Sure. So, when it comes to retention, so only around 20 to 40% of people will have your app after day one after the install. Also, more than half of the people will abandon your app after the week if you are not engaging properly. When it comes to user activation, so your make your first session count for users to return your game, and they have to enjoy and experience their first session. Users that are turned off initially will never give the game the second chance. So you need to have the proper automated on-screen instruction or onboarding screens that guide users to complete their first goal or complete their first success. So gives them the sense of accomplishment and motivates them to move on to next levels. Also, we need to trigger the in-app messages or push notifications or any kind of communication in a psychological way. For example, it can be a friend who is waiting for the respective player online, or it can be the intimation of the energy bar full so that users can reactivate the game again. So also, as Mike mentioned, we need to try communicating them with the different channels. It may be a push messages, it can be an email. So the ultimate aim is to like we need to build a long-term relationship with users, the right channels. As Mike explained in the earlier sessions, we need to try automating the tailored communications where we can able to guide users to complete the core action within the game without any obstacles. So we need to reward them with the game achievements, daily rewards, where they can able to play with multiple users, where they can able to share their scores with friends and so on. We need to A/B test these elements and check out which kind of activation or element works better for your app. You need to trigger the engaged response based on user behavior. It should be have the seamless cross-channel experience. So as a marketer, I need to keep track on metrics like daily active users, monthly active users, and the churn rates. While running the ad campaigns, you need to make sure that you are running the campaign at the right ad networks. You need to check the user stickiness from which ad networks to bring in you the better quality. For example, if you're running the multiple campaigns on Facebook, TikTok, Bungle, or so on, so you need to check from which platforms users are getting more retained, and you need to utilize budget based on that. So also you can able to re-engage in certain ad networks with the help of tools where you can able to reactivate the dormant users. So as one example, so like earlier, where we are sending the messages to the people who are not used the app for 3 days or who are inactive for a certain days. So you need to keep communicating with the dormant users and make them reactivate again. So that's one of the ultimate goal in user activation and reintention. So that's the key elements here. So you need to keep check on these elements, and you need to keep gathering data, and you need to keep communicate them at the right channel.
Yeah. Thanks for this addition. Yeah, absolutely. And just to mention, you can do everything that Kumarsan mentioned in our platform. So, yeah, just let you know. Okay, so let's, and last but not least, let's talk about game app monetization. So why is it important to think about your monetization strategy, what is happening right now, and what type of strategy you can use? Let's discuss it. So first of all, two main things that happen currently with game monetization. From the AppsFly report, from the recent AppsFly report, for example, in-app purchase revenue for mobile games dropped globally because of these changes in the Apple app tracking transparency update. Still, in-app advertising revenue in Android is growing highly. So for each game publisher, it's really important to think about the way how you monetize your app, and what type of strategy, what type of content, what type of like even uh, ways of collecting money you're using. So I here's several use cases that Commerce will just explain right now about how to work with game monetization.
Yeah, right. So like when it comes to monetization, so integration of a relevant monetization tool that fits to the app context will have its positive metrics like retention, daily active users, and so on. So you need to develop the or prepare in-game elements that is more relevant to your app. For example, you can create the game process if it's a event kind of game, and you can create the bomb or rocket if it's a match three type of game. So you should have a clear principal mechanics for monetization. So you need to make ads part of your game. For example, you can able to make users to see the ads to earn more coins or to double the coins or to continue the level and so on. So like you don't need to stick with just one or two monetization methods. You need to have the hybrid monetization method where that taps more revenue models. So like try to have the meta layer monetization that is more relevant to your app. For example, in match three game, you can elements like a bomb, a rocket, that helps to complete the game better, which helps you to progress the core game. Also, always try to have the 2 to 3 in-app currencies like soft currencies, hard currencies, or premium currencies, and so on. And you need to reward users with soft currencies often, where your premium currencies should be hard to get by. It should be like premium currencies, where with premium currencies you can be able to buy whatever you want within the app. So you need to create a demand for the premium currencies within the app. So your mechanics should be such a way. Also, you need to strategic about the pricing. You need to analyze your competitors. Your pricing strategy should be like it should be amongst to the place or countries target people that you're going to target. So you need to be your pricing should be based on that. So like let us share the quick success case of the how we have improved the revenue with in-app ads, also with the in-app purchases. So like it's a simple cooking game in US region, and it's a hyper casual game where users need to cook certain items within given time frame. Users who have additional in-app elements like timers, cooking utensils, and so on, will have the upper hand than the opponents. So these elements need to be purchased in-app. However, we have seen that no traction is happening for in-app purchase, and we haven't received any revenue for client tabs. So we have analyzed and found that these scenarios occurs at very early stage of the game, because generally users will hesitate to pay you if it's a new game. So what we have tried is that like we have tried implemented the rewarded ads where users can able to get these timers or other utensils by seeing the video, because generally users are like to happy to see ads rather than purchasing if the game is not familiar to them. So after we have implemented it, we have seen that more traction and activities happen to the rewardable ads. Also, in order to improve the rate further, in order to improve the revenue further, we have a drive with multiple monetization networks where we can do with tools like App Mediation, where we can able to integrate multiple monetization networks like chat boost and so on. So by this way, we have able to improve the in-app purchase and in-app revenue in quick span of time. So also like we have improved the in-app purchase with the retargeting. With the help of tools, MMP tools, we have targeted VIP players. VIP players are nothing but like who players who spend more time on your game, who have purchased any in-app purchases earlier, so who are active in your game. So we have tried targeting these VIP players on Facebook by doing the segmentation on Facebook, Firebase, and so on. So and we have targeted them with respective networks. Based on that, like we have improved the in-app purchase. We have used the deep linking at appropriate places where users will land straightly on the offer page. We have done the compelling ads and that explains the VIP users why they need to buy that respective game pass and so on. So by this way, we have improve the in-app purchase. So the key takeaways here is that we need to de-engage users. We need to try different hybrid monetization method and so on to improve the revenue. So to complete my slide, so I like to show some examples of top monetization methods that you can have for your app. It's more like a monetization elements that we can have for your genres. So it can be a limited in-app purchase offers. It may be a bundle where the app offer will end in 1 week or 1 day period of time. Also, it can be like a monetize timers. People who don't like to wait to unlock the any particular feature can have that. Also, you can have some specific feature for the VIP pass. Also, you can have the monetize retry, where users need to use that ads to continue the level or to follow the next level. Also, you can have a battle pass for games like events. So also you can have the premium characters and skins. Also, as I mentioned, we can have the premium currency, which is very hard to get by, and you need to purchase only via in-app purchases.
Yeah, and just a simple example again how you can implement the strategy of like getting users to pay or to buy some coins, some energy, or how to show them this in a purchase banner, for example. This is just a simple sequence of messages that can be implemented in our product with a communication, with an app banners that Kumarsan showed previously. So basically, this is how it will look like for you on a business perspective. And for the end user, it will be a seamless experience of how they can spend their money in your game in order to get more energy, more coins, and better experience, maybe. So several examples from my side on the very same topic, so I won't talk much about it. Just think about the right triggers when to show this bonus, because it's really important not only just to show, but when to show again. For example, when the level completed, when the award was received, or no points left. So each of this trigger can be a specific point of time when it's the best option to reach your user and show this user an option to buy your in-app purchase. Same goes for the special offers. So find the right timing. For example, after the first week, if you have a really long game, for example, or after first several sessions. So find the right approach, the right content, and the right timing. And events here will help you to do that. And I think that we've discussed everything about the acquisition, engagement, retention, and monetization. So this is a small summary for you, just to remember important steps. And well, my personal one, and really important, is that you need to reiterate on the channels, on the creatives, on the touch points, and so on, because it's all about experimenting. So I hope that everything that we've shared with you today was useful. And I believe that we have some time to answer questions that we already have in the chat. We know that there's a lot of them. That's great. So, Julian?
Yeah, so thank you, Komori-san, Mike, for your presentations. It's really great. I think there are a lot of things to discuss, but yeah, we have actually several questions. But before we answer them, I just found out that Komori-san has his birthday today. So happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Well, really?
Thank you,
Happy
Yes,
birthday.
Yeah, right.
just a coincidence,
Thank you,
right?
Mike. Yeah, right.
Okay, cool. So the first question, yeah, we have a lot of questions. Actually, our audience is quite active in the chat. So the first question, in order to acquire a huge number of gamers, which platform do you think will be helpful? Some recommendation.
Right. So as I mentioned earlier, it hugely depends upon the genre. We don't know which platform works for which game. So as I mentioned, we need to try running the pilot campaign in multiple ad networks. We need to start gathering data. We need to determine the quality of those ad channels, and based on that, we can decide which channels we can go for with.
Okay, yes, makes sense. Another question, some games have a big file size. Do you think this will affect the install rate?
Yes, actually, however, these numbers are gradually coming down with the help of 5G and so on. However, if it's a huge game, I need to make sure that you are only providing the partial elements to download first. So once users install the app, you can allow other elements to download actually. So by this way, you can tackle these issues.
Okay. Actually, I can show the questions. Yeah, that looks great.
Yeah.
So, yeah, the question is games like Angry Birds and PUBG are famous in a particular season, and after that, they got lost. So, games' lifetime is limited. How do you see this as a game marketer? What can we do about that?
So it's basically depends upon the trends and the technology as evolving. So you can see that more multiverse games are coming in. So people like to move on. As a game marketer, what suggestion we will provide to the developer is that we need to make your game evolve. We need to keep updating that with the latest trend, latest technology, in order to make sure that your game is in the trend. So as I mentioned in the example, and the match 3 game has added more meta layers to your core gameplay because previously you can see that before 5 years the match 3 games is just about to match the jumps or icons or so on, but you can see that these games comes with role playing, shooting and so on. Even the story kind of games can be patched with the match 3. So it's all about the evaluation. It's all about the how we are using the technology. It's all about how you are updating your app.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay,
And
exactly.
small addition from my side, again, it's also all about the way how you communicate with the user, basically how you make sure that you're doing everything to prolong this particular user lifetime in your app. Whether or not you're sending reminders to play, maybe some additional bonuses and so on. So if you think carefully about how your user should perform on your app and how you can help this particular user to stay with you for a long period of time, and of course how you will change the communication during this period of time, the way how to expand the user lifetime for a really long period.
Yeah, about communicating with your gamers and keep them active, right?
Yeah.
Okay, the next question, can I integrate events with Pushwoosh tool for my app developed in Flutter language?
Short answer, yes, totally. You can implement events not only from like in Flutter, but basically in any language that you have the platform for your game app, even backend events. And also, I know that there was additional question about can I find out if a particular user had installed the app or not? You can. There are several ways how you can do it. The first one, well, first of all, some platforms, for example, such as Adjust, can track this event and send it to us. So we have out-of-the-box integration with Adjust, and they were able to track not only an install event, but also as well when the user started their trial and so on. And you can do the very same scenario using only us. You can either use some of our default events. For example, user were able to purchase something from you. We can help you to react on these actions. Same goes for the uninstall, because we are able to check whether or not this particular user uninstalled the app. The only thing is that it's hard to react right in the moment when the installation happens. So basically, we can help you to target those users who uninstall the app. Well, and you can connect with them using emails, for example, or some additional channels, such as SMS, for example. But still, yes, you can do it.
Great. Okay, I think one of the last questions. Apart
Mhm.
from push in app, SMS, and email channels, what are other channels to reach a user to keep them engaged? For
So
Mike.
you can use
Okay.
social media.
Yeah,
Yeah, you can use social media.
yeah,
You can also
absolutely.
go offline marketing where you can use also nowadays marketers are using the offline marketing channels too. Also, you can use the TV ads. So there are more ways to keep them engaged. Yeah, Mike, you can provide your answer.
No. It's absolutely fine. I was going to say the very same thing, because
Right.
if you're, well, social media is a great channel, and you can combine it with push in-app SMS and email channels. Basically, push in-app SMS and email, you can name them direct marketing channels, but still, social marketing is a great way to re-engage your customers. And using data that you collect in Pushwoosh, for example, you can improve targeting in social media. So it's absolutely the right answer, in my opinion.
Right.
Sure. Okay, I think the last question that we will cover today, can you explain more about user onboarding into the game app? Don't think that one in-app message will be enough to explain the gameplay. Well, that's true.
Well, yes, as I mentioned previously, you can not only use like the first welcome screen with some content, but you can like set triggers during the whole first session, and you can explain basic mechanics of your game on each step that will be important for your user. Or you can suggest your user to use some free bonuses and something like that. So it's about prolonging the onboarding during the whole first session, not just first welcoming screen, in most of the cases, in my opinion.
Okay, so I think
I
that's
noticed
all.
one
Yeah.
question. I don't know whether we answered it or not. It's about the revenue. Just let me find it. Well, yeah. Which platform do you think provides the best revenue for gaming apps? I don't know. It seems that this is a
Yeah,
question for
so like
Komura-san.
it's more like the ad network. So as I mentioned, we can able to use ad mediation platform because you don't need to rely on single platform. You can use mediation like AdMob, where you can able to integrate multiple monetization networks there. You can play with the metrics like fill rate, ECPMs, and so on. You can able to run with the monetization tool that provides you the high ECPM rate. So we can able to experiment that. So it's better to go with the mediation platform rather than relying on the single platform.
Great.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I think now we've covered all the questions from the chat. So thank you everyone for participating in this webinar. Thank you, Komori-san, Mike, for preparing your slides,
Yeah.
for sharing your expertise.
Thank
It's really helpful for everybody. And I remind you that we have some more webinars in our webinar page. Well, the future webinar will be about e-commerce. Maybe someone is interested in that. So very welcome to join us. And thanks everyone for being so active in the chat. Let's see you next time. Thank you.
Thank you guys. Thank you.
Until next time. Thanks.
Yes. Bye. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.